the Hedgehog. It would also be the first Sonic game for a brand new console generation, and Sega pushed to have a presentation ready for E3 2005. With the game still too early in development for a proper demo, a quick tech demo was put together to show off what the team was shooting for. During development, the team faced struggles working on the new hardware. The original plan was for a release on the PS3, Xbox 360, and Wii. However, once the team realized how underpowered the Wii was compared to the other consoles, they knew that a significant amount of work would need to be done. So, the game's director, Yojiro Ogawa, split up the team and headed up the Wii port. This left the directorial duties on the core project in the hands of the game's chief designer, Shun Nakamura. Ogawa realized porting the game to the Wii U would not be worth the effort, yet still needed a game for the system. So he took his team and started a new project, Sonic and the Secret Rings. This left the new next-gen Sonic with a much smaller team than originally planned. The next big blow would come from one of the men who had been with Sonic from the very beginning. Yuji Naka decided to leave Sega and start up his own studio, taking several members with him. This left Sonic Team without a major figurehead, and even fewer staff. So at this point, the project's original scope was far too great and features had to be cut. Sonic Team knew they wouldn't be able to reach the planned 2006 deadline. However, Sega signed a deal with Microsoft promising a game for the Xbox 360 for holiday 2006. Sonic Team was given no choice but to finish what they could. Sonic the Hedgehog was officially released in the US on November 14, 2006. Sonic the Hedgehog, referred to by many as simply Sonic 06, is structured in the style of the Sonic Adventure games. There are 3 campaigns, Sonic, Shadow, and a new character, Silver. Sonic's stages are adventure-style speed levels, Shadow stages focus more on combat and feature vehicles, and Silver stages are puzzle-oriented, using his physics-based telekinesis powers. Other characters, like Tails and Amy Rose, are occasionally playable. Hub worlds from Adventure 1 also return and include shops and side missions. Actually playing all of this is a different story, however. Imprecise controls, long loading times, and a terrible camera make Sonic 06 a chore to play through. There are also numerous game-breaking bugs. Characters clip through objects, the audio breaks, and the difficulty is broken in many spots, like getting trapped in an infinite loop where you can't die. The list goes on. Even the story gets a lot of heat from people for being far too complicated for a Sonic game, and of course, its infamous scene where Sonic is kissed by a human girl. Sonic 06 remains one of the most famously bad AAA video games. It's the moment where the series' reputation took a nosedive, and for many, Sonic became a joke. Sega would spend the next decade attempting to recover the series, with many attempts. After the disaster that was Sonic 06, Sonic Team wanted the next game to reinvent the franchise and clear up its name. Using a brand new Hedgehog engine, the team was able to generate quick HD level creation, which helped avoid the pitfalls of Sonic 06's hardware development issues. Sonic himself was given a redesign, and the overall tone was changed to be more lighthearted. It was also decided Sonic would be the only playable character this time, but the team still wanted to have an alternate playstyle as a way to bring in new people who had never played a Sonic game before. This is where the idea of Sonic becoming a werehog came into being, and the game was split into half speed levels and half brawling levels. Sonic Unleashed released in the US on November 28, 2008, and a month later in Japan. A lot of people considered the speed levels to be a big improvement, taking some of the best aspects of the adventure stages and making them fast, fun to play, and looking great. Sonic can now dodge left and right, making turns and avoiding obstacles more easily. The camera also moves to the side in some sections, creating the look and feel of the 2D Genesis games. The emphasis here is on speed and moving as fast as possible while not trying to break the flow. It works great, and in this regard, Team Sonic had realized its goal of making Sonic good again. However, this is only half the game.
Sonic? Whoa! Mr. Monster Guy is back!
The Werehog sections featured a slowed-down Sonic, brawling through enemies, platforming, and puzzle solving. This is the part of Sonic Unleashed that was heavily criticized. Many consider the brawling to be too simplistic and repetitive, and the platforming to be frustrating, slowing down the pace of the game. For many, Sonic Unleashed feels like a half step in the right direction. The speed sections felt like Sonic done right, a return to Sonic people wanted. Meanwhile, the brawling sections were not great and felt like they just got in the way from what fans really wanted. It was a massive step up from Sonic 06, but it still didn't feel like Sonic was truly back the way Sega wanted. Perhaps this desire to bring Sonic back to his glory days is what led to the creation of Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Designed as a nostalgic throwback, Sonic 4 is meant to continue the design legacy of the 2D Genesis games. The game was developed not by Sonic Team, but Dimps, a studio responsible for the mobile Sonic games Advance and Rush. Sonic 4 was episodic, with the first episode coming out October 2010 and the second episode in May 2012. There was a planned third episode, but it was officially cancelled in 2015. Sonic 04 returns to the full 3D of the Genesis games and has the same structure. For the first episode, the stages are all throwbacks to older Sonic stages, with slightly different names. Even the bonus stage is the same. It's the gameplay that you remember from Sonic 1 and 3, but it's not a one-to-one recreation. The physics are different, which is a point of contention for some fans, along with adding in the homing attack from the 3D games. Many fans also didn't care for the use of a modern Sonic character model, and there was even a petition at one point asking Sega to include classic Sonic as an option. Episode 2 brings a bit more to the table. Tails is now in the game, following Sonic around again, and there's even 2-player co-op. The stages are also more original designs this time around. Other than that though, it's mostly a continuation of what Episode 1 was. A lot of old school Sonic fans don't care for Sonic 4, feeling the game wasn't a true sequel to those originals since it doesn't actually add much. And what it did add, they didn't like. While it does have some fans, as an attempt at nostalgic fan service on the part of Sega, Sonic 4 fell short. Back over at Team Sonic, there would be a new game that continued the work the team started with Unleashed. It was called Sonic Colors. The team took a hard look at the criticisms of the previous games and decided on several things. Colors would get away from any sort of heavy story or continuation of the series' larger mythology, and instead be a simple fun adventure for Sonic. This led to the idea of setting the game in an interstellar amusement park. Brought on to write the story was Ken Pontac and Warren Graff, the writers for Happy Tree Friends. Sonic Colors came to the Wii and DS on November 16th, 2010. Sonic Colors continues the style of speed levels from Sonic Unleashed, with a heavy emphasis on switching between third-person speed and 2D platforming. There's no playable characters other than Sonic, and no alternate gameplay style gimmicks like the Werehog in Unleashed. Instead, Colors has aliens called Wisps, which Sonic collects and activates different colored powers. These are temporary abilities used for puzzle solving, such as hovering, a drill attack, a more powerful boost, and so on. The story has Sonic and Tails investigating an interstellar amusement park opened by Dr. Eggman as a supposed attempt at penance for his past misdeeds. This time around, the story has a lot of emphasis on humor and is pretty self-aware, with lots of fourth wall breaking jokes and nods to formulaic aspects of the series.
Okay, seriously? We need to find Eggman and figure out how catching these aliens fits into whatever heinous plan he's hatching.
And wreck that plan, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much how we spend our time.
Sonic Colors was the game that finally started to get Sonic out of its slump. Many critics and fans praised it for its great level design and lack of extra gimmicks, calling it the best Sonic game in years. Sonic Team was hitting their stride, and that would only continue with the next game. Sonic Generations is a celebration of Sonic's 20th anniversary. Sega held an internal poll asking employees what their favorite Sonic levels were, and then later held a public poll asking fans the same. The idea would be a game that recreates levels throughout Sonic history and is a celebration of the franchise. Sonic Generations released on November 1st, 2011. The plot of this game involves modern Sonic and classic Sonic becoming stuck in a realm where all of time and space is erased, and they must experience levels of Sonic's past to restore everything and save their friends. Every level in the game comes from a different Sonic game, with all the major games being represented. Yes, even Sonic 06.
Is this a joke?
Fan favorites like Green Hill Zone, Chemical Plant Zone, and City Escape are all recreated, making this the ultimate Sonic fan's dream game. It also carries over the well-received design of Sonic Colors, only now the 3D and 2D styles of play are split up. Modern Sonic will play through a 3D person speed version of a level, and classic Sonic plays through a 2D platforming version of a level. In addition to these main levels are challenge acts, which usually involve the side characters. Sonic Generations is perhaps the most well-received of the 3D Sonic games. It's pretty universally loved by fans and critics alike. And with both Colors and Generations being big hits, Sonic Team was finally pulling the reputation ruined by Sonic 06 out of the mud. Feeling that Sonic's reputation was finally safe, Sega wanted to try something completely new and make something like no other Sonic game before it. The team conceived the idea of a twisted tube-like level. Due to the lack of experience in this kind of level design, it took the team half a year of creating and recreating before the first stage was finished. The end result is Sonic Lost World, released on October 29th, 2013 for the Wii U. Lost World still switches from 3D to 2D like in Colors, but now its levels are these floating planetoids, reminiscent of Super Mario Galaxy. A new control system lets players control Sonic's speed. You can now move slowly for more precision, or go fast and use parkour moves like running up walls. There really isn't that much to say about Lost Worlds, to be honest. It's kind of one of the more mixed Sonic games. Its changes to the formula aren't terrible by any means, but it doesn't provide a new experience that people loved either. It was also released exclusively for the Wii U, which didn't give it much of a market to work with. The game did eventually get a PC release 2 years later, though.
Beat down time!
So, Lost World's attempt at providing something new was decent, but not a huge hit. But the next Sonic game would change a lot of things in an attempt to reimagine the franchise.
Sweet boost pad!
You can't outrun me this time! Blast you, Sonic! Take that! Boom! A hit! Yes, keep running! Dodge this!
Sonic Boom is a spin-off franchise that Sega created as a way to remarket Sonic with a westernized flavor. Originally, the main project was for a CG TV animated series, but it was then decided that a video game should coincide with it.
Call off your goons or I'll smash you into next week.
I'm busy next week. I mean, I could reschedule, but
Wanting a Western team to make it, development was given to LA-based independent studio Big Red Button, with Sonic Team overseeing the project. The team was given a lot of freedom and came up with a cooperative action platforming game where you can swap between 4 characters. Redesigns to the cast were also made to fit this new style of play. Early prototypes of Sonic Boom's graphics can be seen in a 2013 CryEngine 3 demo reel. During development, Nintendo struck a 3-game deal for the Wii U with Sega, and Sonic Boom was one of those games. This choice ended up hurting development, as CryEngine 3 was not meant to run on the Wii U, and the team had to scramble to port the game and get it running. The troubled development and pressure to release the game in time with the TV show caused the team to work overtime. Many employees left Big Red Button before Sonic Boom's release as a result of the poor working conditions and stress. Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyric did release, though, on November 27th, 2014. Compared to previous Sonic games, Sonic Boom focuses much more on